we'll be talking about price hike, right? Price hike, rent hike particularly. Rent hike because it is already happening, you know. If you watched us when the year began, we kind of predicted what we should look out for this year, you know, as an entity, I mean, as a nation and as people, whether as landlords or as tenants. And one of the things that I highlighted seriously was that people should expect increases in their rents. They should expect to hear their landlord sending them letters that, you know what, we have to review rent, because people are still trying to recover, landlord inclusive, are still trying to recover from the inflation, you know, price galloping that is still happening, but that we experienced hugely last year and it's still happening now. And one of the ways that everybody will try to catch up and level up economically
is to make it for
what they have
to get what
they need, you know. So that is, and that will result into some inflation, I mean some price increases, because it will always almost look like, you know, when these things happen, it will almost always look like, is it that the landlords have an association where they discuss this and say, oh yeah, let's go and increase rent? It's not like that exactly. Why it is almost looking like that is because this thing is common to all.
It's applicable to all.
It's common to all. Everything that they are feeling, that we are feeling, is what the landlords too are feeling. And so everybody will be permutating and, you know, calculating that, okay, where do I make amends, where do I adjust things and make life better for myself? And if you have properties that people are that are tenanted, of course you would have to review your rent and see, is this rent commensurate to the times that we are in? If it's not, you'll be sending them letters to say, hey, from so expect rent increase. And we have started experiencing that. Chief, have you started experiencing it?
I know the guy experiencing it.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's a matter of alone? Your landlord has not woken up.
I know the guy experience it. I'm about to lodge it.
Your landlord has not woken up.
He's there, he's sleeping. Let him sleep. And then won't see me. Let him drop water, let him drink water and drop.
How will he drink water and drop cup if you are not paying you?
You want him to be running kitty kata. You let him drink water and drop cup. Okay. But then person go pay school fees, person go take care of the day. Like you rightly said, a lot of factors are responsible for this. They go through some things here, prices of cement, prices of some of these things, like quite a bag of cement now goes for 4,000 naira. God knows, maybe you don't even reach half of that before. A lot of things here. What do they call them? Granite. So at times one might actually not, and it's also, it suffices to say that most of these landlords on Yahoo. I know majority of them will be saying a bank give them that.
You know the funniest thing that we have? Yes, some of them, of course, like on Yahoo.
I have a guy who's into school. Because it's not still property.
Yes.
He built.
He built. That one a business.
That business, but house too na business for commercial purpose.
I know, but what I'm saying is that
what I'm saying, what I'm going through in essence is he built 3 schools within the span of 1 year. And
3 schools.
Yes.
And full schools.
Go say look meji.
But he has had schools before. He has
get just one before. Yes,
before.
He gets one before. It can't be 3 man. I was like about Benny dog dancing.
How was he able to do that?
But in our conversation, I observed that banks are always ready to give if they can trust your payback system. And for somebody like that now, you know, everyone there go mean to them, because obviously we'll still be paying back, if not till the end of next year, depending on how this.
Even more, depending on his cash flow projections, So he must be an heavy man.
That for school here. Now for house, definitely you see that the landlord might be reviewing rent possibly every 2 years, or 1 year might be callous to say, but like every 2 years.
Okay, well, I think that we should actually open the phone lines.
Okay, most definitely.
And let people give us feedback as to, have you started receiving notices of rent review, you know, from your landlord? Because from the press, you know, there was a report during this week, and it highlighted the challenges that people are facing regarding hikes and rent hikes. And in fact, if I share some, I don't know,
some comments, right?
Yes, can I share some comments here? You know, there is one man, I won't mention his name, right?
Because anonymous.
Okay, so there is one man here that was interviewed, and he said, you know what, that within a space of 6 years, he has experienced rent review 3 times.
That's 2 years. You know, it's
like almost like 2 years he gets rent review. In fact, the challenge for him right now is that he said the truth is that where he stays now is going beyond his means, such that the solution may be for him to go and look for who to squat with. He started renting this place at 210. After paying agency and legal and all of that, he said the total money he paid was like 310 for the apartment. You know, and that as we speak, they've increased it from 210, it went to 300. From 300, that more or less is now like 450. Now, and 450 is more than he can afford. You understand? So the guy said a lot of things have suffered in his life just to maintain his rent. And now he's seriously considering looking for, squatting with someone so that he can then be on the lookout for where else he can afford. What this guy was running away for, he started work, and his parents were, Donguyo or something in Ikorodu. To shorten his journey is why he tried to look for property around his office area, not too far from his office area. And this is what he's facing. I'm sure it will be the plight of maybe some of our viewers. I would like them to call in and let us know. There's another guy who probably a bit well off, you can say. He's said to be a comedian. And this thing about rent law, he said he got a property in Magodo phase 2 for like 4.5 million.
Per annum, abi?
Per annum. 4.5 million, all the money he had to pay. He said he paid for 2.5 years rent. That's what the guy said. I was shocked. The guy said he paid for 2.5 years rent. And he paid for
2.5 years, if I get it right, that should be a year for that's roughly 9 million.
No, 2.5 years. 2.5 years is like 12 million.
12 million.
Yes.
A year is 4.5.
Yes.
2 years would definitely be 9 million.
Yes. So half of that, half of 9.5 again, which is another 4,750. Oh. If you had it on top of it, it would be like, in fact, it's like 4,750 is 13 almost 14 million. Almost 40, is what the guy paid. That's all the money.
Timothy roof later. Wait, màá ralẹ̀, màá kọ́lé, wọ́n á tó fún mi ní swimming pool. Yes, now with 40 lódò put swimming pool.
You mean swimming pond?
Pool gangan, wọ́n á tún say they will beg me to do the pool. Tí wọ́n á tà ìṣe 14 mọ̀ pọ̀.
A pool.
How much is?
40 lè pọ̀ bọ̀ kò mú pool dání.
Ó mú dání ẹ̀yìn mọ location. Ẹ̀yìn yóò mọ location. Ẹ̀yìn ibi àwọn ibi tẹ́yìn.
Mi ò mọ location.
À ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé kéèyàn wọnú.
Mi ò mọ location.
Kéèyàn wọnú ẹyẹ ń kọrin. Ẹyẹ ń kọrin.
Abẹ́yẹ ń kọrin náà.
Wọ́n bí sẹ́ni àdéhùn go uproot all the tree for you.
Àbí
ẹ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti
ní àwọn
bricklayer wey no dey go anywhere.
Need the sound system bẹ́ẹ̀ mama kọrin sí ilé tí náà.
It's a resort center o. Those kind of person get money. Yẹ́n bá lọ kọ́lé síbẹ̀.
Mama kọrin sí ilé tí.
Ọkọ̀ balẹ̀.
So this guy paid this much, and you know what he said? The funniest thing he said is that when he settled down and he asked his other neighbors, he realized one, that the agent inflated the rent. That he paid about 300,000 higher, more than the actual rent. Maybe the landlord actually increased it. We don't know, because that's his own side of the story. Because don't forget that even in a house, different apartments may have different rates.
Yes.
Houses on the ground floor may be priced differently from the ones on the top floor. Houses facing outside may be priced differently from the one at the bar.
They like my own, it's like that. The one we get back on it, the price it passes.
So maybe that is the issue that is mixing up.
And some are more spacious. Despite that they are
yes,
maybe the same 2-bed or 3-bed,
or whatever.
or
yes.
some are more spacious.
So I wouldn't know. That's his own side of the story. We didn't hear the other side, so I wouldn't want to conclude. However, you know, I mean that he paid 2.5 years, and that the rent will soon be increased. You know, the rent will soon be increased. He said he was going to wed when he had to do that, and now he's already hearing rent may be increased. You know, so and a lot of people cited their example in that write-up. But you see, the fascinating thing is that to control this, everybody just have to be prepared for it. Government has its role. We also have our roles. Because what I realize also is that for a lot of people, they are probably not balancing their expenses with their lifestyle. Some are probably living where they cannot afford or sustain. You know, I know that there is a problem. The problem is that a lot of these increases are not commensurate with increases in your income. Increases just come on their own, not knowing whether you got salary increase, you got promotion, or you are making more money.
See fuel for now.
Yes, now look at fuel in the last.
Because I will be buying it like that for the past 3 weeks or thereabout, and we are not talking about 50% increments on the increment are very loud, but yet you must buy because you must move. Such would not reflect on your salary that because this month too you spend more, so we'll give you more for fuel. So for that of increment on house rent, so most definitely
it's not commensurate with your, it doesn't go pari passu with your.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, what will be your own experience as far as rent hike they concern? Increment in house rent.
Well, just now every year, every state now.
Help us speak up, I beg.
The increment of house rent now, every state now. Every state now, but some landlord, I don't know why. They don't pay the house renting, which they pay the house. They will come to increase rent cost, and they don't pay the house almost 50 years.
You don't even say 20 years.
Almost 50 years. You don't even know how you children. You come and just set up. They have fixed maximum price. So they say they will just make a maximum price for the landlord. That anybody that increases to this level, government should do something or call the number. They should just print the number bring up, announce the complaint, so that if any landlord increases more than this, they should be call this number. Because we don't tire for all these increments of landlord or all and this. But they don't do it as something. They don't do it as something. Let me see they just build the house. So there's more government do something for us. So that's one contribution, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Taufik from Kaduna.
Thank you, Taufik.
From the angle of having a ceiling price, or if, let's call it a regulated price, backed up by legislation. You have talked about this before, sir, and you don't even tell us the practicability of this one. They say
it's very difficult. You see, Taufik needs to realize, and I understand his pain. Like we've said, these rent increases are not even seeking your opinion, you know, and it's not commensurate to whether your own income is increasing. So I get that aspect of it. So it can be very painful and hard to meet up. However, we must realize that it's all issues of market forces, demand and supply. Like he's saying that the rent increase is almost everywhere. And we said it when we started. It's not as if these landlords have an association where they meet and take decisions. They also are reacting to the economic situation. You understand? Mostly. Of course, we know that some landlords increase rent arbitrarily. They are Shylock. We know that. But we are saying that generally, if something is prevalent like this, it just means that, look, there is need. And his argument that it don't take away them build house does not hold, though.
Why, sir?
There's nothing like it don't take away person build house.
But it's not buying material.
Wait, it's not buying material, but it's living. That property is an investment.
Sure.
Sure. It's existing in this day and age. You understand?
He's wise enough to deprive himself of some gratifications then to do this. So he should still enjoy it now.
Yes, his investment. His investment should be fetching him income.
Totally.
It's the same reason why if he wants to sell that property now, he will sell it at what they call open market price.
He won't
sell it at the price, of course, because he should be able to sell it at the price. He will be able to rebuild another one. Do you understand? Investment should not set you back. Investment should enhance your life. You know, so that it's been long debuted. No, it's a matter of the economics. When this guy built the property, if he was able to feed himself and his family with the rent he's collecting from that property that time, this time he should still be able to feed himself and his family with the rent he's collecting.
You understand? Going to the same market that we are going.
Yes, so you can't say that justification is because he's built it for long. No. That wouldn't really hold water. It won't hold. However, there is need for reasonableness. There is need for avoiding Shylock attitude, and of course, there is the process of law, tenancy law, in terms of how you can increase rents or the allowance you are given in terms of notices and all of that. Yeah.
But the government should definitely create a ceiling price that you must, in 3-bedroom flat, you must not collect more than this. In face my face, you must not collect more than this. You feel that is not.
Government did not build the house for them. So what government can do is to ensure that they build houses as much as they can, but most especially they create an enabling environment that more houses can be built, such that if the level of supply increases and we reduce the shortfall, the demand will also reduce, you know, and that way price will come down.
Yes.
Automatically.
Supply is more than demand.
You know, the price will come down. Yes. So that is really what government needs to focus on. Like somebody said in that write-up, that look, as a country, we needed to have been dealing with how can we ensure that our 18 to 21 years old can start to aspire towards home ownership. You know, if we are not there, we are not solving our housing problem. That's what that person said.
I've come to realize, sir, that our fathers built their houses earlier than we are doing now. Some of them at the age of, if you listen to them, they will say, "Mutikoli Mikinto 30. I've done my first house before I'm 29. And lo and behold, if you go through this, you see that in Timon's a low turn, what did they do? But you see a 35, 40-year-old man now still struggling to pay for rent of a room. So I'm actually saying that to support the basis of that man, that if we can incorporate that foresight in 18 to 21 year young adults, I think it would definitely be a panacea to this problem.
Yeah, I mean, it should help. I mean, and the environment is what matters. It's not just putting it in their mind. It's not about just putting it in their mind. If you put it in their mind right now, they don't have the economic wherewithal to be able to do that.
You know what?
The structure to make it easily doable for them is not there. So putting it in their mind now is almost is not the way to start.
I'm sorry to counter that, sir, but I believe it is still okay if it is on their mind. Because
of course,
if you see most young adults now big motor,
of course, I'm not saying it shouldn't be. What I'm saying is beyond just putting it in their mind, we also have to make the environment enabling. Otherwise, what we'll be teaching them is how to steal to achieve it.
Yes, sure.
So that is why I'm saying it goes beyond just putting it in their mind. It's inclusive, but we must create the enabling environment. How do I easily? Because it's comparing. What it's actually saying is compared to crimes where you can, at that adult age, you can actually get, or qualify for a mortgage, to buy maybe a studio apartment and you are living there. The other day, I was looking at an offer letter for a studio apartment in one of our projects in the office, and believe you, the conditions, I asked myself that how many people can meet this loan condition?
Prerequisites.
How many people can? Very few people, even where there is mortgage. Very few
apartments.
So we are saying that let's make it more affordable, more accessible for people. Okay,
thank you very much. I want to believe we've learned one or two things as far as rent hike is concerned. I want to say a very big thank you to Engineer Debo for making time to enlighten us on top property matter. My name is Never Chen, I'm still Chief Olododo. So we'll come your way again next week. We'll say bye.
The best investment on earth is earth. The issue of say make a person get house, make a person get land.
Property matter na serious business, so one of the best investments wey person fit get for life. You fit interact with us on top the show or talk to engineer Debo through we phone numbers wey be 08173147589 and 08105434984. You still fit call us on top with Skype ID wey be WAP TV. Shey you be estate agent, surveyor, town planner, or you dey into furniture and you go like make the world sabi your level? Come advertise with us on top property matter wey dey shele for WAP TV for every Tuesday 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. and on Saturdays 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. For advert placement and sponsorship, make una call Stella Maris on top 07039145229, Rebecca 07069691950, Faith 08173147426.